welcome back to Celebrity with Nene. So I'm Nene, and today I have Jerome and Reese here with me, and we will be doing a recap of Love During Lockup. This will be season 4, episode 44. All right, so we're just going to go ahead and just jump right in with the review today. So the episode picked back up with Letitia. She was on the phone with Keith because we saw in the previous episode she had asked him had he ever slept with her employee, and the phone actually hung up on disconnected some kind of way. So here we are. The episode is picking up with them two. So he calls her back. She's like sitting on the bed. She's talking her little smack, and he calls back. And so he tells her no, that he never slept with her employee. Right. And so the next scene of her, we see she is bringing her employees into her office as one by one to speak to Keith over the phone. She said they are having meetings with all the employees that day. We see Letitia, she goes to a meeting with her lawyer. And she meets with her lawyer because she wants to find out his legal advice on her adding her husband to the business. And she's saying that she wants to protect him and her and their children. And so the lawyer, asks her, what is he in jail for? And so she tells him she's a conspiracy and was it selling drugs, I believe. But she tells the attorney, and the attorney is like, that could put your license in jeopardy. Your clients are trusting you to keep all of their information safe, and for you to have someone not only working with you, but truly working beside you as a co-owner, and they have conspiracy charges, like that's a no-go. Like you shouldn't do this. But it was crazy to me because here is the lawyer that you went to for advice, but she really wasn't listening to him, I felt like. Or at least she was listening, but she wasn't really taking it in what he was saying. Because she was like, but he served his time. It's like, girl, everybody does. I'm not going to say that people don't deserve a second chance, but would your customers feel the same way? Would your customers feel like, but he served his time? That's okay. All right. And so the lawyer did advise her that if something went wrong with him and the company, he did something, she could be held liable and her license could be in danger. And so she didn't say that she doesn't want to do it. I think she's probably going to try to find another way to be able to do it where, I don't know, maybe she won't put his name on the business, but she's still calling him her partner or something. I don't know. But I just don't feel like she's walking away like, no, I know this is not a good idea and I'm not going to do it. That's just the way that I feel. What did you guys think about Letitia's scenes this week? Any thoughts? Jerome, you're muted.
First, the whole, worried about if they slept with whomever. I mean, it was something that happened a long time ago, and just the way that he sat there and said, "No, we didn't." I'm like, "Yeah, right." So I wasn't believing it, but then again, this is something that happened back during teenage years.
Right.
You didn't find your husband. He was a virgin.
Right.
As far as when they went and met with, it just seemed weird sitting there with everybody going in individually, sitting in front of a phone. Like,
right. I'm like, where's the office phones? Where's your conference room?
Yes, where if anything, you could have just had them on a speaker rather than just a tripod standing on a prison call. Now, as far as talking to the attorney, that should have happened before anything else happened. That should have been one of the first questions.
Married to him. That's what I should have talked to him about.
Before you even told your employees that he was going to be part of the business, that's the first person should have talked to. And it seemed like she was in disbelief, like, well, I believe this, so why doesn't the world believe it? That's not how the world works. You're leading off emotion. And you really could jeopardize yourself. Like you said, it's about the clients. Conspiracy means that like I said, look up the word conspiracy because it seems like she wasn't getting it. You're entrusting people's personal information that deals with their credit, their livelihood, and what have you, and you're giving it to someone who's in trouble for conspiracy, which is the definition of. She has something to think about, but I think she is so wrapped up being such a hopeless romantic that I think she's still gonna put her whole job, life, career at risk. Even if he doesn't do anything, you even risk possibly losing clients once they find out who the other partner is.
Right. So, like, for me, this episode, she was not giving boss lady to me. And now I'm starting to question, is this business really hers? For her to just be so flippant about bringing him on, and just the way she was behaving with the lawyer, it was almost like, I can't even say that she doesn't understand. It was like she was still fighting his case. And made me wonder about some things. I already had my suspicions with the way this office looks, but it just gave me more suspicions.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense. All right, Racy, your thoughts?
So, because I really didn't know exactly what conspiracy was, even after watching it, I know obviously it's not a good thing. But so it's like when two, just in case anybody else don't know, it's when two or more people join together and form an agreement to violate the law and then act on that agreement. So my thing was that she wasn't getting, like, she's like, oh, it's just drugs, it's drugs, it's drugs. But conspiracy was when two or more people come together to act against a law. So when you're dealing with people's money, people's social security numbers, people's addresses, people's phone numbers, their bank account information. I'm sorry, somebody with a conspiracy charge, I don't want you to have my information. You don't even know who to trust when you're giving it to the people who work in these facilities. You're trusting them, but when you tell them, if I find out a criminal who's behind bars currently is handling my stuff, and I'm trying to file my taxes, but yeah, you got a criminal doing it? Oh, heck no. And it's not even just a criminal, because I'm not even going to say, like, a murderer might not even think to do this stuff, because a murderer might have just did that crime, and it might have been a crime of passion. It might have been a crime of, like, jealousy, might have been, whatever the case may be. But when you throw in conspiracy, or, what I'm saying, like a conspiracy charge, basically by reading what it said it meant, I'm just like, I'm sorry. I probably feel some kind of way with any kind of inmate, period. But that makes it even worse if somebody was to look him up. And I'm like, I'm sorry, it's too easy to look people up. If you give me a name, I can find a lot of information about you just with the name. Mm-hmm. Don't let me get some sort of phone number or, know what area you're in, because then it's even easier. But yeah, I think she wasn't listening to him. And I'm like, and as a business owner, you got to protect your brand. You got to protect your business. And it's like, I get it, that's your husband. But if you're not even going to care, you know what I'm saying? You already was acting to me out of character. And I get it last time, last week, she was like out of character with the whole, like, oh, did you sleep with my man? This and that. To me, I don't know. As a boss, like, it's just some things maybe you should have pulled that person one-on-one. I don't know. When you continue to have those conversations.
She doesn't act like a boss.
She doesn't. She act like, to me, like I don't know, like she new to this, but she's been doing this for a minute, and she's not super young, because last time I checked, she was at least
30. Yeah, she's like 36, I think, something like that.
And I'm sorry, like 36 is young, but it ain't that young. Yeah, 36. You a 36-year-old business owner who has kids. You're doing great. Don't let this man like mess you up, and don't let immaturity mess you up either. But right. Yeah, I'm with. I just couldn't see it. I'm like, listen to what the lawyer's saying, because he's trying to tell you to something that's going to save your business. Because because we looked at the stuff and said, oh, it do kind of look kind of shady, like it don't really look as professional as it should. Maybe it's just that, hey, she fixed it up and think that's what it, what looks good. Because, she got like her little sense of style. But regardless, if your business is legit, keep it legit. Keep the prisoners out of it. Quit trying to get prisoner customers and stop trying to let your husband, who you ain't even met in the outside world, run your business. You know what I'm saying? So that part bothers me because you ain't met him in the outside world. You met him in prison.
Mm-hmm.
So wait till he comes out, wait till he's free, then start talking about that kind of stuff. Once you see he's reliable. Because maybe the conspiracy charges mean nothing to him. Maybe he's not planning on doing no more crimes, but meet him first in the outside world.
All right, so we'll move on to the next couple. So the next person that we saw was Renika. Alrighty, hold on 1 second. Okay, so the next person was Renika. So we saw her and her mom, they're talking. Her mom is letting her know that she doesn't want her to move. Um, as she says to us that Renika has made a lot of mistakes with men in the past. So of course her mom is worried about that. And so Renika throws herself a going away party. And at the party, her family and friends, they're not supporting what she's doing. So they're, giving their concerns. Um, so then Renika starts, I don't want to say lashing out, but it was almost seemed kind of lashing out, where she tells all of them that they've all been with convicts. And then she starts kicking them out of her party, which I was like, you really shouldn't do that. They are just voicing their concerns. I get it, you don't want to necessarily hear it, but kind of hear them out. They're voicing their concerns because if things don't work out with you up here in Georgia, where are you going to go? You're going to go back home to your family, the same family that you are kicking out of this club right now. Like, I don't know. For me, that part kind of bothered me. Even though we did end up seeing that somehow they got back in, even though Renika had called security over and had them escorted out, including her mom. They end up getting back in. All right, and so but before they got back in, of course, the cameras were on them while they were outside of the club, and they were letting it be known that they were not happy that she threw them out. Then we see Renika. She gets on stage and she disses her family while she's on the stage about to perform. She decides to take the time to kind of throw some disses at them. All right, and so she performs her song, which I don't know why I didn't really get a good. I didn't really hear it very well to be able to say whether I liked it or not. Um, and so we also find out that her man, is it Asante? He will be released in 3 days. So I guess we will get to see their dynamic. Should be hopefully next episode. But we know how we tends to drag things out, so we probably won't see
Now, you
him.
know we ain't doing that. They're gonna be on the next show.
Mhm. And so yeah, so that was Renika and Asante this week. Any thoughts?
No, since I'm already unmuted. Oh, MG. First of all, like I get it. You don't want to hear negativity because you're doing your little show thing for your music. You're also doing your going away party. You don't want to hear negativity, but to put your mama and your sister out like that to me was just some weird ghetto stuff. And I'm like, I'm sorry, they're giving you opinions based on their, you know what I'm saying, like their best judgment because like what you're doing is not outrageous. I mean, it's outrageous. It's not normal. It's not like you said, well, I met this great guy and we're gonna move in and and it's local. He's got a great job. You said you met a prisoner and you're gonna move to another state and you taking their nieces. So I feel like they had every right to feel some kind of way, even if they can't stop you. At least hear them out. And so the fact that she kicked them out the club, I didn't hear it when she went on stage and you said she still was dissing them. I didn't hear that part. But
She
that
did.
makes it even worse than to me what she did, because that to me is like you throwing your actual family away for this man that you've never even met or seen. Like some of these people have at least seen these people in person. You ain't even seen them. You know what I'm saying? You rely on everything on these conversations. So I feel like the way she did her family was dirty, and I didn't care for that. I hope that her relationship is successful, but the chances of it from just watching these previous shows is slim. So like, don't turn on your family for these prisoners, man.
Hmm. You just remember your support system. It she keeps, we've seen her mention several times that her dad was in prison. She threw it in her mom's face, talking about, well, my dad is a convict and you were with him. So I feel like there may be some hurt, underlying hurt towards her family, but this is not the way to deal with that hurt.
I want to go back for a second when she talked about her dad was a convict.
Hmm.
I don't think her mom met her dad as a convict or that he was locked up at the time that they got together. So I felt that comparison was half irrelevant. Yeah, he might have got locked up afterwards, which is still not right. But you're talking about someone that you never seen, known, touched, or whatever that's in the system compared to your dad who was out there with you and then got locked up and then came back out. So that to me that was a cop out excuse. As far as the family trying to talk to her, yeah, probably the event probably wasn't the best because y'all already had to beat up and she already said, I don't care what y'all say I'm gonna do what I want to do, which is sad even for the kids' sake because I really feel like she's putting her own personal feelings over even the kids. Not like not knowing what kind of guy this man is gonna be, and then to kick them out. Well, I mean they're a rowdy bunch, and then for her to get mad and kick them out, stop. If you know people are not happy about it, but they're just accepting it just because. Don't keep pushing the narrative. I said okay, you're going, but don't keep waiting for me to cheer you on. I'm not.
Yes.
Uh, and that is definitely on her. And as far as when she got on the stage, I'd say if I've got the names right, I should say her and what was his name, Cameron, could probably do like a duet together or something.
Yeah.
Maybe between the two of them, they'll make a decent song.
They could be a rap duo. Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Okay. So the next couple that we saw was Savannah and Jake. This is giving me Santiba vibes. I would try to call up what season it was, but I believe it was season 4 too, because this season 4 has been going on for years now. Um, so Savannah, when the episode comes on, we see Savannah. She's dressed in like this medieval garb. I think it was. If I remember right, the dress was kind of medieval, but I could be wrong. But she was dressed up in this garb and she was auditioning. She says that she likes attention, she likes auditioning and acting and things of that nature. Fine and dandy. I ain't gonna knock her for that. We find out that she is involved with Jake. Jake is in prison for robbery. He had originally got like 30 something years, but he said he's already done 10 or was it 10 left? It was something like that. I remember 10. I can't remember if he's done 10 or 10 left. But on his mugshot picture, he looked like a baby. And so he is definitely aged since he's been locked up. And Savannah desperately wants to get married to this man that's in prison. And it seems as if she wants to get married while he's still in prison. So he doesn't want to do that. And she's really bothered by the fact that he was engaged to two other women previously while he was in prison. So it's kind of like, well, why not me? Why can't you get engaged to me while you're locked up? Why do you want to be engaged to him and married to him while he's locked up? Like, why do you want that for yourself? I think I might feel a little bit differently if she had met him and then he went to prison. Then it's like, well, we can get married. But I'm trying to justify something I really don't believe in. But it's just like I don't understand that. Okay. And so we find out that Jake's mom does not like Savannah. But the biggest part of why she doesn't like her is because apparently she went to a concert and then one of the band members, the mom ended up talking to a band member and he was like, it somehow the mom got it out of the band member that he was from the same town that Savannah is from. And so she mentioned it like, yeah, my son's girlfriend lives in that town. And he's like, oh, I know her. We slept together and it was la la la. And the time frame that he said, um, she she was with her son. So of course that's gonna bother. It would bother me if I heard that. It's just like I'm inclined to kind of believe that probably did happen. She did say herself she's cheated on every man she's been with except for him.
She said she slept with him, just not during that time.
Yeah, but I'm saying I believe it probably happened during that time period while they were together. Um, I get it. He could have been off by a little bit in the time, but I don't know. I kind of feel like it might be true. I don't know. Y'all can tell me, audience, tell me what do you think? Do y'all think that guy was telling the truth, or maybe he was off by his time frame, or he was dead on with the time frame? Let me know what you think. All right. And so we also see that Savannah wants to work on what did she's working on a letter to try to get his sentence commuted. I think that's the word for it. And so she reaches out to like his aunt, but his aunt doesn't respond to her. So then we see her crying, and then she goes back to Jake, and she's kind of doing this. Well, they won't help me. It seems like they would want you out, and they would help me. And he's talking to her, and trying to pacify her a bit. But it was crazy because Jake in his confessionals aside, he was saying that if it was up to Savannah, they would be married already, but that's not what he wants. And so we saw, like, in that scene, she of course started crying and stuff about, she's wanting more from him. She wants an engagement and stuff. And he's telling her in a nice way, basically, that he don't want it. And he was like, why would you want to get married to me while I'm locked up too? So that's that's just what the vibes that I'm getting. I'm getting the Santiva vibes. If y'all remember her and her man, like he got out, he had a new girlfriend, he had went off with her, and when Santiva called his mom, the mom was like, "I'm sorry to tell you, but sweetheart, he has a man. I mean, he has a woman, and he's living with her, and things of that nature." So I want to hear Reese and Jerome's thoughts on Savannah and Jake this week.
I'll be short and sweet. I think she is another one of these hopeless romantics that figured she could go and have fun, and then like, okay, now I'm ready, and when the right guy comes, okay, let's go. I really feel like too that when it happened, if I may have misunderstood it, but I think it was like we weren't together at that time, which means when you're together, but then you had that little we mad at each other, so we take that little break in between. That's what I
Mm-hmm.
think happened, and be like, oh, technically, because if his mom knew the band member, it might have happened around that time. And to me, that's still cheating because you didn't break up. You took a break with the whole intent of getting back together, and that's just the excuse to make it sound like you're not cheating. As far as the parents not liking her, why are you rushing to marry somebody where there's issues with the parents that he's not even sure? Like he's saying, you're trying to press this way too hard. I still have questions. If a man wants to marry you, or if a woman wants to marry you, you should want them to marry knowing that they have a clear head and clear conscience, and he doesn't have it.
Right.
She came with the idea. She said, this is the first time I've been faithful. So if this is the first time I've been faithful, why would he want to just jump into this knowing that he's not going to be somewhere and even if he knowing about the situation that happened and his parents aren't happy for a reason, he still got years. So if I get married today, it's 10 at least 10 years I'm gonna be in jail where I can't tell what you're doing it with, or whatever else. I can get married to you and you can be out there unless somebody else got pregnant, or whatever the case may be, and said it happened during a conjugal visit. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
So she has to be understanding of that. Unfortunately, this is one of the moments where your family and your past kind of affects your present and future.
Very true.
Did it say how long they've been together?
I don't remember. They did say it, but I can't remember how long they said they were together.
So, because I can't go along with that she might have cheated on a break or something, because they haven't said anything about a break or anything. Like maybe there was never a break. So if there was no break, then she just cheated. You know what I'm saying? And it could be that if they haven't been together like a super long time, this dude knew her, which to me, I think the dude kind of messy because how you meeting somebody you have no clue about and you telling your business, your bedroom business to? Like, to me, that's weird anyways. Like, I'm sorry. If somebody come up to me and be like, you know, such and such, I'm not gonna be like, yeah, I slept with him, blah, blah, blah. And then, yeah, and then no.
But something has happened between the two of them. Because remember, she said that when his mother, Jake's mother, mentioned her name to him, he had a look of disgust on his
A look
face.
at discuss, yes, but that again, messy. Like, still, even if I don't like somebody, I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, we slept together. No, I'm sorry. Like, that's me. That's me. I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, 'cause we slept together. You know, it's got to be like this is somebody's wife coming to me like, you know, such and such. Initially, I don't know who you are. I'm not gonna say nothing. And then blah blah blah. Like, oh, okay, now stuff is adding up and making sense. You know what I'm saying? Or somebody's girlfriend or something. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, oh shit, I didn't know. So now I'm gonna tell you, but I'm not just gonna spill the beans to somebody who I don't even know. That's weird to me. But
Mhm.
you know, he did what he did. It would be nice to know the timelines only because I know how we does things.
Yes.
Um, and then I guess the other thing to me that makes her so that's that. I understand why now on the mom's side of it, I completely understand because it don't matter whether what you said was true accurately with the dates or if it wasn't. Like now I got even more reason not to like you. But she was talking about that's the best she ever had virtually. I'm sorry, you pleasing yourself. So be the best you ever had virtually. No, you are the best you ever had. Yeah. So that's weird to me that she even made that comment because I'm like, do you even mess with him? Well, you know, he could be just pure garbage. And then um the fact that he's been honest about not wanting to be married. Like he said, I do not want to be married, and you still pushing it. I get you don't want to be. You want like this whole 50-year whatever. You don't even know if y'all gonna make it 50 years. Y'all might even make it 10. So to me, get that out your head. Like that's something that comes if the relationship lasts, and then it's also like it's a lot that goes into being married to somebody for 50 years. You don't know if you can handle that because you ain't never been faithful to nobody. So
And
for
they have
you,
not even been together in the real world.
no, you ain't been together in the real world, nor have you ever been faithful. This is the first person you've been faithful to. So you don't know you're gonna make it 20. You don't know you're gonna make it 2 years. Like marriage is hard after the first year. So to me, she's inexperienced because she wants to be married. She wants that life, but she don't realize what comes along with being married. It's not all roses and whatever. Now you gotta actually, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot to marriage. She don't get it. She's looking at the time frames like, oh, well, I don't want to be 100 saying it's my 50th year anniversary. Hey, if you make it to 100, that's a blessing. And if you make it to 100 and you that's your 50th year anniversary, that's a blessing. Any to me, you make it 10 years, 5 years. In this day and age, it's a blessing. So she need to chill out with that. You rushing for the wrong reasons. That's all I got on her. She
Mm.
crazy.
All right, so the next couple that we saw, we're gonna move right on along to Andy and Brittany. So we see, and I will make this abundantly clear. I agree with what she said to him, to this man. All right, so Brittany calls him, and she rips him a new one. She lets him know she doesn't want him to come and visit this weekend. That's out of the question. Um, and he ends up getting frustrated by the things that she's saying, but the things that she's saying makes perfect sense. She's a mom. I just found out you could have possibly been a deadbeat dad, and I don't want that around my children. My children have already had to basically deal with me being gone. I don't want, I've put my own stressors on my kids. I'm not going to bring in a man to add more problems to it. He gets so frustrated. It looks like maybe he had been to the laundromat or something, but he had his clothes in baskets on the porch. He kicks them off the porch, both baskets now. And I'm just sitting here thinking, why are you doing that to yourself? So now you got to walk around your yard picking up those clothes. And then for me, I'd have to wash them again. I can't put them on knowing that they've been in the grass. Ants could be in them or anything. And then you're spending the extra coins to go to the laundromat to clean these clothes. Like, I didn't understand really his frustration of why. Well, I get he was frustrated, but why you chose to do that? I it was craziness to me. And that was pretty much their scenes. Their scenes was pretty much a phone call where they was screaming and stuff, and just basically going on. So thoughts on Andy and Brittany this week? I see Reese over there laughing.
No, so I'm just laughing because I mean, like literally, like when you get mad, you do stupid stuff. And so I just imagine like how I would feel if I kicked my laundry, knowing like this ain't your laundry, this is my laundry. Like I'm like, you don't want to see me? Ah. Then I'm like, dang, the ants are there, the dog and pee, the
And then
you know what I'm saying, birds and poop. Like
and then
you like
it's fake work.
people
Now
that
for those,
walked.
yeah. Now for those clothes to be on the porch means
Yeah.
you went to the laundromat. So you was,
Hopefully they were dirty clothes and he was on the way and he kicked them, but they
but
were
if they
clean.
were clean, I really don't understand the kicking it. So that means
Like,
you went to the laundromat. You had to go get coins for the laundromat.
mhm.
You washed,
Yeah,
you folded them,
yeah.
only to bring
Laundromat ain't cheap.
home and then do that. And right
Laundromat
now
ain't
it's
cheap.
hot here in Georgia.
It's hot
So
here too.
you're in a hot laundromat.
My thing is
Your
that
clothes are doing all this
laundromats
only to
ain't
kick them.
cheap.
Yeah, and then only to get home and kick them onto the ground.
Yeah.
Like
Laundromats. To me, I mean, because literally, I remember back in the day versus now, laundromats ain't cheap. So if you went to laundromat and did that, that was even dumber. But I just know, like, I've done silly things when I've been mad. Now, I'm not mad about some convict saying don't come see me, but I've done some real silly things, being mad about whatever, and it probably was stupid stuff too. So, like, I understand where he coming from. Like, you just see the person you see, and it's like, bam. But
no, but
I
trust.
feel like I would try to think. I
Well,
would
I
try
was,
to think. Like I went to the laundromat and did that, and
but
yeah,
trust me, I have done things when I've gotten mad, but for me to knock over some clean clothes outside, drag them in the house, then kick them over. And
yeah.
then, like, you're not going to see me. I just fried a fresh batch of fried chicken. And then my man, it made me mad. So I go knock the chicken onto the ground. I'm not doing certain things. I may go in the kitchen and knock over some paper towels, but I'm not going to knock over something that I've worked hard doing or that I'm going to dirty up or injure in some type of way. You got to have some kind of self control. That kind of look like you.
So I guess if I did the laundry at home, and maybe I want to kick it outside and be like, now I gotta take it back in the house and do my laundry. But if I did the laundromat, I really in my brain think that I would think about that and be like, nah, I'm gonna push it to the door and then I'm gonna kick it into the house. And then like kick it some more and then be like, all right, cool, that's enough kicking because I want to get it dirty for real.
Yeah, if I'm at the
Yeah.
house, I'm in the house, I'm not kicking some clean clothes outside.
No, I'm just saying, like, if you just need something to kick, and that's the closest thing at the moment. Like, I'm just saying, like, I mean, hopefully I will walk past my laundry that I did the laundromat if that's the case, because I don't know why else would the laundry be outside unless the washing machine is in the garage and there's no connection and you got to walk outside to the garage. I don't know.
It
That's
looks
only
like it's in
explanation.
a trailer. Where's the garage?
Oh, okay, it's a trailer. I didn't really pay attention to the house. But either way, so if you don't have a washing machine, to me, that's a big thing because I've went without a we didn't have a dryer at like a place I had rented, and I was like, oh my god, like going to just do like you paying so many quarters to do this freaking dryer. I don't even want to know what the washer was, but I'm like I know for a fact because of going in the past, it wasn't that bad, but now it's just terrible. So he's crazy. But what I'll give to her is that I didn't like her smile. I think I said in that one episode she seemed like her smile was like I don't know, I ain't trust her, but her actions and her words.
But I'm gonna tell you what I will trust. I will trust a skincare routine. Now I know I've mentioned this in the last
Yeah,
episode.
but if she stopped doing drugs, we know her skin can get better. It might not be a good skincare routine. It might just be that she ain't on that heavy drugs. Could be a
I,
skincare routine.
I want to see her skincare routine and her nighttime skin routine.
I think it's that
That's
she
what I
ain't
want to
doing
see.
drugs because she ain't got no and if she do got them products, like you don't get them gel products that they probably making.
Well, maybe that's the secret. It's a gel
You go
product.
to jail just for good
Okay.
skin. Don't go to jail for
Look,
just good skin. Don't
look.
do it.
In this case, I wouldn't mind. I'd take some gel products to use, on a skincare routine. I would.
Yeah. I mean, they got them good cookies and stuff apparently, and good chips and all this other stuff. So on her, like what I felt like she was very mature in the fact that like you're not just calling him a deadbeat dad just because you talk to the ex. Because to me, the ex is never gonna do you no justice unless you're like great co-parenters. So I do have respect for the fact that she took his word on everything and trusted him, but his daughters who are old enough to speak for themselves came in and said something, and he did not deny what they said. He just said, "Oh, I already told you that," and then she was like, "No, you didn't." And then, granted, his view on what he thought growing up, how he raised them versus their view is different, but she actually like took that into consideration because she could be like, "Oh, they lying on him. How old are they? They lying on him." You know what I'm saying? And she did take that into consideration because she's like, "Look, either she ain't been there for her kids either, so you don't know what your kids think of you either, but." To risk it around your kids when you've already been a terrible mom because you ain't been there. That's to me trauma, and that's what his kids are trying to tell him. Like we've already been through this, and you're trying to bring somebody else who was a drug addict, drug dealer, whatever around us. He ain't listening. So therefore, I at least commend her for knowing that. Like, look, I ain't been in my kid's life, but I'm not gonna bring you in to make it worse. So I commend her on that. And then I stand by what she said too, because it's like, hey, I'm not gonna bring you around my kids until I know for sure you would know deadbeat dad. And right now, that's the vibe I'm getting. Came from the kid's mouth.
Okay. Jerome, what are your thoughts on Andy and Brittany this week?
I actually agree with what both you and Reese said. I mean, yeah, she came in and she's worried about the kids having drama because she caused a lot of it. You can only imagine she caused a lot of it herself before they even came along, and is worried about seeing it again. It sounded like it was more of a trigger for her when she heard it because it's probably stuff she heard before.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that he doesn't realize it, and there are dads out there like that that feel like, well, as long as I put food on the table, I did my part. And it's like, no, they need your presence as well as your presence.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't, and he still doesn't see that. But it was as much as he's wrapped up in wanting somebody, he needs to recognize that he needs to patch things in his own home. He should be now once realizing this, he needs to like take a step back because how you gonna make a family with somebody else and you ain't got your family straight? And then even if you do get it straight, then your kids are looking at you in serious resentment. It's like you're giving these kids, like they said, you're giving these kids what you didn't give us.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to man up and work on that. You've been law enforcement. You talk about you a man's man that can handle a whole load of laundry in one tussle. you know. But yeah, that's it.
All right. So the next couple are Jade and Chris. Right? And so we see like their scenes were actually short. We see them they talk on the phone. They kind of I would say they kind of skim the surface of talking about certain things. And so we learned, which I didn't realize this, and I'm saying I learned, because I don't know if they said this in the previous episodes, that Chris is in prison for robbery and identity theft, which is surprising for me. I get that he was on drugs. That's what she was saying he did. But I was like, whoa, he went so far as identity theft with it too when he has all this money. He doesn't need to scam, but I guess who knows. And so she tells him that she's coming for a visit. He's clearly out of state, I guess, from her. And she says she's coming with her sister. We also find out that the two of them have been dating for more than 5 years. Well, they're married, so they've been together for more than 5 years. All right, so they've been doing this. And then it was kind of a cringy scene to me, kind of. But I get it. That's what they have to do because they are apart. But Jade and Chris, they have a moment where she's being sexy for him, and then she wants the cameras gone so that they can have phone sex. And it's funny because he was literally talking to her on the phone, and they were trying to talk a little dirty to each other. And she's like, "Hey, can you FaceTime me?" And then all of a sudden he was on FaceTime. I was like, isn't your phone like contraband and you're just able to whip it out willy-nilly and start having this scenes with her? But yeah. And so we also found out that he only has a year left. So they're close to being back together soon. Well, together soon because they were never together on the free world. All right, so thoughts on Jade and Chris this week? Any thoughts? Racy, you're muted.
Okay. Well, my thought on them is I really don't have a whole lot of thought on them. I mean, to me, it's just a couple where you got her that has the family, and he has issues where he wants to spend more time with her. I mean, like on the phone or what have you, and she feels like, well, the family feels like it's controlling. She feels like it's kind of controlling. But in turn, you also got to consider too. This is somebody. I think in some cases, women think more emotionally, where men think more financially. Sometimes a woman feels she's giving herself, her body, whatever to you, that she should have all access to you. A man feels as if I'm spending this, if I'm investing this much in you, then I should be able to access to you. And it can be hard because woman's not going to like the idea that if I'm laid up with you, then you're spending your time other places. You're going to feel used. And that's how kind of it is with a man. It's like, if I don't know what's going on, the more and more I invest in you, the more and more I'm going to feel if I find out that you're someone else doing other things. Now, duly noted, she seems she's being very true to him, but it's her family, like her sister, that is really making it look like, oh, why you're being bothered? Because he made a point earlier in saying that you have a problem, but you have no problem using what I'm offering. Like, right, like, riding in the side by side and things of that sort, and no telling what's been done prior to then. And even when they were just kind of guesstimating figures, we're talking pretty much well over six figures here. That's you've been in jail from someone you ain't even encountered one-on-one physically yet outside of there. So I can imagine, so I can get his feeling. And even back to the party, I think some of his thing is that if y'all out doing this stuff, answer the phone, put me on video, let me act like I'm a part of it. So I think that's part of the stuff he's saying, not just I want to be on the phone. And I get it, she wants some one-on-one time, but at the end of the day, if you feel like what he's asking, what he's asking for in time is too much, then move on with the family, take yourself together. Well, you're doing good because you're a social media influencer, so you probably make your own money too. Take that and just let him take what he's giving back, and then you go about your business. But you can't have the person that's sitting here buying you about more than you probably get from any of your sisters have gotten from anybody, and then still want to live the life just exactly how you want to live it. It has to be a compromise.
So what did you think about the little phone sex?
Like I said, the fact that he could sit up, like you said, that he could say, "Oh, you available? Okay, let me just grab. All right, let's do this right here." And you could just pull the phone out first. Was just wild to me. I didn't know it was that really available. But as far as you know, what it was pretty good. She already does social media, so she knows how to set up the camera angles. So she probably got a tripod that bends 12 different braids, and he probably got one of the best shows he gotten than anybody else in that whole prison or in the tri-state area.
Okay. All right, Racy, your thoughts?
Wow, I wouldn't expect
that.
I'm
gonna be petty.
I should have expected that from JC, but I was not expecting that.
And look, and I'm gonna be petty again, and I'm gonna ask you about the phone sex scene as well. So be prepared. Or you can just volunteer and tell us.
So I'm trying to go back to the phone sex scene. I'm glad she pushed us out the room before it happened, because some of them start stuff and then you like,
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, to go in and changing clothes. I don't know. It's a bit much. Like, to me, it's like extra. That's why I probably couldn't date an inmate or something. Not gonna tell me randomly at 2 o'clock in the afternoon to go get dressed to go do that. No. But I get it. Sorry. I don't want my stuff to die and my charger came out. I don't want nobody to, I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. But as far as excuse me, them, the sister does have a lot of influence, and I'm curious to see what's gonna happen when she go with her on the visit and to see what he's gonna say and see how he's gonna act, because you can't get all crazy in front of, you know what I'm saying, like at the little. I'm assuming they sit at the table still. I don't know how it works. I assume it's the tables that I see on like TV and stuff. The little table you sit across from each other. I don't know. It's probably not, but whatever. So they're gonna sit at the tables and then they're gonna have a talk, and if they start getting loud, other families gonna be looking like what, and the guards gonna come take them out. That's how I see it happening. So hopefully nobody does that, because she can't do that, nor can he. But I'm curious to see how it goes, even though I don't think it's gonna really matter, because as long as he's still calling a lot and all that stuff, it's still gonna be a problem for the sister, which I personally understand. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't know. You kind of sometimes when you know somebody's a certain way, you kind of just get used to it if the sister's gonna stay with him, and if the sister is happy with him, I mean, what can you do? Like, other than just ignore the stuff that bothers you and just know that, like, if she happy, then she happy. If she complaining she ain't happy, she need to tell him. But I feel like that's kind of it, because like to me the biggest thing is like how the sister is kind of about him. Like, it gives you a nasty feeling about him, but at the same time, like, we really haven't gotten into like the nitty and gritty on like really how they met, and is she really with him for the right reasons? Does she really love him? Like, I mean, I think she loves him. She didn't tattoo his name twice. I'm sorry, somebody who giving me money, I'm still not gonna tattoo your name. I'm just gonna take the money. I'm not gonna tattoo your name. But I do feel like if she tattooed it twice, not once but twice, there's gotta be some kind of love there. But is it the right love? Were you just attracted to him and not really his personality? Because marrying him, now you do his personality too. So I don't know what the deal is gonna be with them. But there was one other thing I was gonna mention. The not the not the phone sex, because that was just funny to me. Dang, what was it? I can't remember what we talked about before that. I lost my train of thought when I started going into some of the other stuff, because I'm like, they crazy. Oh, what you said about the social media influencer. Yeah, she could be making money. But we also know that, yeah, just because you got a lot of followers, depending on what platforms you got them on, and if they're liking your videos, commenting, watching the whole video, subscribing, you know what I mean? Like, that stuff makes a difference. Like, you can be somebody with 10 million followers, but if only 100 people are active, you're not gonna get paid. You know what I mean? And then if you on, like, let's say TikTok, if you ain't a battler too, chances are you're not making money on TikTok. The most lucrative, I think, is like YouTube. But if people aren't liking and commenting, it's not helping you either. So you got to get the views, the likes, the comments, So
And the followers.
followers. But I mean, but like I said, if you can have 10 million followers, but if only 5,000 people are liking your videos, you're not gonna make no money. So it's not gonna matter. It's about the content you putting out, and what she's putting out. I don't know. I wouldn't be watching that every day, but somebody might. So she might be doing good. But like what she showed us, I'm like, that's it. To me, it sounds almost like you just being kind of like bragging about what you got.
Yeah.
Not somebody who's just like, hey, I can help you get to where I'm at. To me, you can make more followers and more fans being like, I can help you get to where I'm at, versus look at what I got, look what I got. So I don't know.
Yeah. Alrighty. And so the final couple that we saw this week was Brittany and K Rock. Okay. So sorry about the little interruption there. All right. So it's Brittany and K Rock. So we find out that Brittany and K Rock's brothers have moved into a new home. Okay. Um, and so we see Brittany, she's with her friend, with a friend, and her friend is helping her unpack her room. And, she's showing up the new place, and then they start talking. So Brittany reveals to us that when has, she wants to have a baby. And when she has the baby, she will basically be a surrogate because she is going to carry K Rock's eggs. So they're going to get K Rock's eggs inseminated, but Brittany is going to carry the pregnancy. Okay. And she's also revealing to her friend that she really wants K Rock to meet her parents, but she wants to do it separately. Like for K Rock to first meet her mom and then like meet her dad or vice versa. Okay. And so she's talking to her friend and unpacking. She loses track of time. And she had a video visit scheduled with K Rock. So she runs to her tablet and tries to log on really quickly. But at this point, she's like 20 minutes late and the video call doesn't connect. But K Rock calls her via the phone and K Rock is mad. And he's like, I got dressed up for our visit and la la la. And she's just like, it's not my fault. And he's like, it is your fault. And, he kind of gets into her and stuff. And he's like, he ends the call with saying, there's going to be no more visits between us two. I guess he's saying no more phone visits since she messed that one up. So he was upset, which I could understand him being disappointed. I think he went a little bit far with how he was screaming at her. Um, but I could also see his point though, because if he got dressed up, he thought he was having a visit, he was excited for the visit, and then the visit didn't happen. And he also said, he was in a room with other people and he got stood up. So I can kind of understand that, but I just feel like he took it maybe a little bit too far. So I don't know. Y'all tell me your thoughts on K Rock and Brittany this week.
Did he go too far? Yeah. But is it understandable? Yeah. You understand
Mm-hmm.
you're in a situation where you're locked up and you only have certain opportunities and time to do certain things, and it may be a month or more before you get to do it, have it again.
Mm-hmm.
The whole idea, it wasn't my fault. It was your fault. I hate when people be like, first thing they say, it ain't my fault. I know it was. You got caught up talking to your friend about the situation and about your family, whatever, and you did piss poor planning. You should have planned better. Time got away from you. That's your fault. As far as wanting K Rock to meet your folks, um, get your mom, get your hardest person out the way first. You're trying to just talk to your dad, have K Rock talk to your dad, and then figure dad to help smooth mom over. It don't always work like that, especially if she is super religious and is really going to, you're already kind of like the black sheep, so to speak, and now that you're in this relationship here, that's going to cause a little more. You're worried about getting, you're talking about wanting to get him pregnant, and I get it. You want to get pregnant. You're carrying your Rock's eggs to do and everything, but you just got a bed.
Mm-hmm.
Let's work on getting K Rock out and y'all getting a home or an apartment or whatever and somewhat stabilized before y'all worry about the kid second. You still live in a fantasy part of everything. And I think it's just because you found the first person in a long time that actually shown you any sort of what you feel is some sort of true love. And you're another hopeless romantic.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they should really kind of just take it a minute, plan better. And it's about it. And be on time next time. And K Rock, control your emotions. That's about all I got.
Okay. Racy?
I guess my question was how he get dressed up. Like,
He probably put on his fresh prison uniform. His freshest, his cleanest, his nicest. Um, yeah, probably had on, his nicer pair of yard shoes.
and she's gonna see that. But all right. So Now that's out the way. So I mean, what he did to get nice and dressed up, that's me being messy, I guess, in a sense, because like obviously, if that man put any effort in, whether it was like I ain't take a shower 2 days ago, but I took a shower to you, that's still effort, and so I give him his props. But I agree with him. Like she was wrong for being late. If it's something important and I'm late, like I'm gonna be upset at myself for it. I think she was upset at herself for it. But she made excuses, but when she realized she was late, like you could tell she was feeling bad.
Mm-hmm.
But it's too late. So next time do better. Because if you know you're not gonna talk to him for a while, then yeah. Like as far as video chats, like maybe y'all talk on the phone, but y'all don't get the videos. The videos are important. You know what I mean? You don't get to see each other. So hopefully they can get past all of that and she can do better next time. But as far as yeah, like the fantasy thing, like I kind of worry for her. Like, I mean, you having his egg put in you, which makes that technically really not your baby. You're just a surrogate. So like, and she's the one who to me seems like she's got this whole I want babies, I want babies, I want babies. So if something don't work between y'all, that's his baby.
Mm-hmm.
Like I hope she realizes that. And if they're gonna do this whole baby thing, like maybe she uses her own eggs some of the time too. But I don't know. I mean, like I carry a baby, like I'm gonna want to take that baby with me, but I don't know. It's not your baby, like it's his. So that part is something that I hopefully they don't go through that. Hopefully they make it works out and all that stuff. But other than that, that's really all I had because they didn't really have too much going on. I mean, good on them for getting a better place, I guess, as long as it's affordable and it's, with good reason.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's it. That's all I had.
I want to add in. You talking about how upset Q Rock was and may have overreacted. Yeah, I think too. If this, they said, if this happened,
No, I said he was right. Like, he was right.
no,
I
Nene
said,
said that.
Yeah, okay.
No, Nene said that. The thing is too, you got to understand. What if this happened and everyone was around and now they clowning him and he was just being clowned by the prisoners around him? Oh, they ain't show up. Oh, they out doing this or they out doing that. They ain't make no, and you're hearing all this in your ear, it's like you're getting picked on and people saying, "Oh, she out there with some other dude," or just clowning because she didn't show up, along with being disappointed. Yeah, you're gonna be in it, and that's because it was like you said, just 20 minutes from the time she was going to be on till then, and how much people just in your ear picking on you. Yeah, I mean, you may be upset from that.
yeah. Now, for me, I felt like he overreacted a bit because he didn't even want to hear her out on what happened and made her late. Now, I think I would have felt a little bit different if he had heard it and then he was like, no, I don't believe, that is a lame excuse or something. But he didn't even hear her out. He just let loose on her and jumped off the phone. That's where my feeling of he overreacted some. Now, I get it. I would be mad. I get that when people are late or something with me. So I get that aspect of it, but it was like he didn't even, there was no communication in that conversation. It was just him yelling at her. And so that's where my thing came from.
I can see that.
But yeah, and so that was this week's episode. Well, last Friday night's episode. I know tonight there will be a new episode. So we'll be back to review that one. And as always, I want to thank you for watching. Make sure you hit the like button on your way out, subscribe, and then you'll know when we're on. And also click the bell. When you click subscribe, click the bell as well so you get the notification. And I want to thank you for watching. And until next time, friends, bye.